Good morning and welcome to the Treehouse. This is Kag with a tarot reading, View from Above tarot reading for Thursday, September 19th. This morning we are going to use the Radiant version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and we're going to be doing a 9+1 reading and seeing what the cards have for us for today. I did the deep shuffle before we started, and so I am just doing the last touches for today's reading. So this is our present energy with its clarifiers. This is the challenge for today with its clarifiers, and the wisdom for today with its clarifiers. So this week the readings have sounded, and this is Meriwether, the readings have sounded like they were connected. And if that was true for you, great. And if it was not true for you, that's okay, right? These are collective readings, which means that they have to apply to everybody, which means they may apply to nobody. So be thoughtful about what you do pick up in the readings and leave what does not resonate for you. Some people say claim it if it's really positive energy. And if it tends to be negative energy, then just let it go. Okay. So this morning's energy is the Ten of Pentacles. Pentacles is the suit of all of your resources, your brains, your job, your family, your house, your pets, everything that you have that is of a physical nature here on the planet. And the Ten of Pentacles is the conclusion of something. It's the very last card in the minor arcana of the suit of Pentacles. It speaks of abundance. It speaks of having a great success at the end of a huge effort. And if we think about this in terms of what we've been reading so far this week, and maybe it's coming to the conclusion that whatever that project was, it isn't going to work. And resources are intact, and we are okay. So here's the challenge for this morning, and it is the Eight of Cups. The challenge is to try to figure out what it is that you don't have that you want that will move you to the 9 and then the 10 of Cups. And sometimes that requires walking away. And in context of our previous readings, that might be exactly what the challenge is, to just walk away and move to higher ground so that you can turn around and look and see what it is that is missing from your life that you really want, or maybe you don't need. But it is taking another view from a higher perspective on what your emotional desires are. So that seems in keeping with what's been going on this week. The wisdom this morning has to do with the Six of Cups, which can be a card of, well, it is a card of our earlier selves. So whether it is our inner child who knows the secrets of what makes us happy, or it is the experience that we have of growing up and being hurt by people, not necessarily our families, but people in the environment. This card being a card of an earlier version of ourselves who carry some of the burdens of wounding from relationships, from school, from the hard knocks, right, of life. And so that is the wisdom here, is that we are being asked to go back and think about what it is that we have learned in order to know what it is that we want. Because this is really what we're after, is the Ten of Pentacles, that place of abundance and fulfillment here on the earthly plane. So let's look at the clarifiers for our Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Wands, which is an incredibly powerful gift from the universe, from the holy, to know something, to be inspired by something, to have what they call the road to Damascus moment, like, aha, here's what I can do, which is a lovely thing to have once we have achieved this Ten of Pentacles. We also have here the World, which tells us that we are at the conclusion of a cycle. If I think about this in terms of what we've been through this week, I would say that it has been determined that that Ace of Pentacles that we were offered on Monday maybe is not going to happen, and that we are going to hold steady with the legacy of what we have achieved. We have some new inspiration about what we're going to do going forward, and we recognize that we have come to the end of that cycle that was initiated by that Ace of Pentacles. Again, challenged to go up to the mountain to see what it is that we don't have or what we don't need. So that is a two-sided question. And that being our challenge, we have the Page of Swords, which is somebody who is newly knowing whatever the clarity and the wisdom is about the swords. He has a tendency to ask other people questions but not really want to reveal much about himself. He also can be a little scattered, not really knowing exactly what he wants to do with this newfound wisdom. And if that's what we have achieved by going up to the mountainside to see what it is we're missing, he can be a little out of control as he's whacking away with that sword. So to be a little self-controlled is maybe the challenge of looking at whatever it is that we are looking at from this higher perspective. And we have here also the Seven of Pentacles, which is the card of looking at what we have planted. What are the seeds that we have planted? What do we have going on that perhaps needs to be paused and looked at? The way that Pamela Coleman Smith has divided these pentacles in the garden is that we've got the 6 and we've got the 1, which is 7. That sometimes is considered the Ace of Pentacles. And so perhaps there is something still present in the bones of that project that can still be brought to fruition, and maybe that's what we're looking at this morning. Or we're looking at a totally different focus. When we look at the 6 of Pentacles, we have to remember that the 6 of Pentacles has to do with the giving and receiving of resources. And sometimes those giving and receiving may have some strings to them, and perhaps that is what was at play in all of those opportunities in the previous days. So when we look at the wisdom here, we're looking at something that we know from our past. And we have the Fool, which is the fellow jumping off the cliff for a new opportunity. And when I look at these two cards, we're talking about the first card in the Major Arcana and the last card. And the 0 card presents to us the connecting piece between the ending of a cycle and the beginning of the cycle. We go through many, many cycles in our lives, but these are significant cycles. And so while whatever that is has ended, it is time to begin anew. And so the wisdom here is this is a new cycle. You do know something from your past, whether it's your childhood past or your grown-up past, but there's something that you have that can bring some light to whatever it is that you're looking at from the higher plane. And we also have the Lovers, which is the card of choosing for yourself, for your highest good. This is a mature choice. This is not a choice that's made under duress. It is a choice that is made with full knowledge of what the consequences are going to be of that choice. And so this tells me that there's some old wisdom here that is being tempered by your ability to make a choice that is mature and a willingness to take a chance to start over. Because that is what cycles are. We learn over. Sometimes the Fool has to start over because he did not necessarily learn the lessons of the last cycle. And earlier in the week, we had the Judgment card, which is also the card of the lessons that we learn. And when we don't learn the lessons, we have to repeat the cycle. So from this place of abundance here, we've had an aha moment that perhaps starts the cycle over again of what we need to integrate into our lives. This is the challenge. What is it that we don't have? What is it that we need? or are we okay where we're at? And that is the consideration here by the Seven of Pentacles. And also knowing our own mind about what it is that we want. The Page of Swords comes before the Knight, which goes after things with great action, but we have to kind of know what it is that we want before we can move ahead. And so overall, we're looking at a cycle returning. It's probably the same cycle because we need to learn something that we didn't learn the last time through. So let's look at our Merryweather card, which is the King of Swords. It's a very powerful card. The King of Swords is the fellow who can see both sides of a particular situation with clarity, with logic, and he treats both sides with dignity and with integrity. And so whatever this aha moment is, we are also being shown that we have the capacity to look at both sides, to come at it from a mature place of decision, recognizing the wisdom of what we have learned from the past before we jump off again. Again, the Eight of Cups is moving off to the mountainside to say we're going to leave this behind in order to look with a little more perspective on what it is we don't have, or what it is that we need, or what it is that we need to leave behind. So this is another chance. This is another chance to learn a lesson one more time. So we have the Ace of Wands. We have 2 cups. We have 2 swords. We have 2 pentacles. And we have 3 major arcana. So not exactly an earth-shattering cycle restarting, but one that has all the possibility of bringing us the wisdom and the knowledge to get to the end of this cycle one more time, learning all of the things that we need to learn in order to move on to the next cycle. So what do we need to learn? I guess that would be the message of this reading for today. And so if it was helpful, I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe. And I welcome you to come back again tomorrow for another View from Above reading here at the Treehouse. Blessings.